Now that is how you do a showcase side. I wasn't expecting anything from Xbox, and I think a lot of people weren't either, given how much they've been messing up lately. But holy cow. Like, they would have... if they had just done showcase the Doom trailer, then they would have easily just beaten out Summer Game Fest. But they actually had a lot to show. We're gonna go through everything that was announced at the Xbox showcase, and then just save a little bit of time for the Ubisoft thing that also happened today. We're recording this on Monday, but welcome back to Maximum News. I'm your host as always, your friendly neighborhood Simpsonskin, Max Derrat, and I'm joined as always by Sybsidian of the Triple S League. Syb, your overall impression of the Xbox showcase?
It was really positive, and I think I know now what they're trying to do. I think what Xbox is doing is they're going for the big stuff, and they're trying to really showcase the big stuff, and not that they're leaving the little or the smaller or the more indie type games in the past, but maybe they're just trying to really focus on getting this huge lineup first and foremost out.
Yeah.
Because they dropped some big names, some big doozies, and it's looking good with the exception of like one or two things.
Yeah.
Which I'm still confused about.
But, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on one particular thing. I think you guys know what we're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited overall. I think that basically we have what we're seeing now is we're seeing Microsoft formulate their plan, which was which they've been working on for a while. I still disagree with some of their studio closures, but I think we can see now kind of what they're going for, and I hope that they can just land all of these things. So yeah.
Like with the big games that they've shown and the ones that seem to be coming up, it seems like they are trying to redirect the narrative, and at least in a few respects, they are really succeeding. So we're going to do what we did for the Summer Game Fest video that we just put out a couple days ago. I'm going to do a top 10 favorite announcements from the Xbox Showcase. Syb is going to interrupt me at any time if he has any thoughts on the games that I mentioned, and then he's going to fill in anything that I left out. Okay. So starting at my number 10. This one's going to seem a little bit strange, but just wait until I explain. It'll make perfect sense. My number 10 is Life is Strange Double Exposure. I don't care about Life is Strange. I don't think it's a particularly good game series, but I'll say this. Watching other people play this game is entertaining as hell. Because of some of the things, like just watching, like especially the original version of the first Life is Strange, watching like the really bad character models and the really terrible writing, fair enough. Like I understand there are people that really enjoy those games, and more power to you. I never really found them to be all that great. But I'll just say this: I'm looking forward to watching people continue the story of the chick from the first game. I especially hope that my favorite YouTuber who did a playthrough of Life is Strange is going to go through this one again, just so he can talk crap about all the characters like he did in the original one. I shout out to Vash12349, and also I'm curious to see if they address the ending of the first game, which is very memorable to a lot of people because of a particularly difficult choice that you had to make. I mean, it wasn't difficult for me because slight spoiler alert if you haven't ever played the first. Well, not slight. It's actually a pretty major spoiler, so if you don't want to hear this, just pause and skip ahead 30 seconds. But one of the main characters in the first Life is Strange is a character named Chloe, and you have to choose between her dying and you allowing the entire town that you are in to die to save her life. And there's an explanation for it, but I found Chloe to be very annoying, so it wasn't very difficult for me to sympathize with anybody that let her die. But anyway, same thing with Vash. But yeah, I want to see if that gets answered, and that's pretty much it. So I don't think you have much to say about Life is Strange, do you?
And it's like, it is a good streaming game for people. People kind of get annoyed with the premise and all the emotionality to it, but I'm like, no, those types of games are fine. There's nothing inherently wrong.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
like
I don't like them, but I'm glad you like them. Yeah, or like the people out there like them. Yeah,
yeah. And so, like, I mean, I haven't ever played the first one. I felt that it was too like teenager angsty for me. Um, I was impressed with the visuals, how they've come along, and I think yeah, I think it looks like a decent game, and I hope that it is a decent game and that it stays as a decent game.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Cool. All right, moving on to my number 9. This is a very simple explanation for why this is on my list. It's Wushang Fallen Feathers. And it's only on there purely because it's a Souls-type game and looks cool. So got that and Phantom Blade Zero to look forward to. Anything you want to say about that?
No, not really.
All right, cool. Number 8.
It's looking good. It's looking good. I mean, like just generally they're making improvements, so that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Number 8 is the Starfield DLC. I'm not probably going to be able to get around to it anytime soon because I haven't really been able to play Starfield very much ever since September of last year. Not because I haven't wanted to, but just again, it's a matter of my job and having to play games for my channel. But I hope to get back to it someday. But the thing that stood out the most to me about this announcement is just the fact that they're bringing in user created content now. So that makes me happy. Anytime Bethesda content, like any sort of modding is done with the games, they immediately get exponentially better. And so I look forward to seeing what people do with Starfield. Yeah. What about you?
Starfield needs a lot of love, and I think this is the first step in the right direction. What they've done is they've really made it so that you're going to get into this update, and you're going to be going to this this ruin of a station that's like not supposed to be there. There's going to be open up a lot of mysteries, and then you're going to spend the rest of your time on the Varun planet homeworld.
Yeah,
essentially. And you're just going to stay there, and that's what people were asking for. So that world is going to be far more like custom created, less loading screens, like more just like being able to run around, do stuff. At least that's what it looks like. If they're doing that, then I think that's a step in the right direction from a lot of the complaints that they had. So.
Nice. Yeah, I tend to agree that like even though it didn't particularly matter to me, like the way the game was structured differently from typical Bethesda RPGs. Like I understand the argument that people like to wander out the beaten path on a custom created world and find things on their own. And Starfield didn't really allow for that because everything was so spaced out. I didn't personally mind, but I get it. But like you said, Sid, that definitely is something that's going to be offered here. And hopefully with user-generated content, people can create stuff like that. Because there's a whole galaxy out there for people to make stuff and build stuff on with the various planets. All right, moving on to number 7, Avowed. I'm still a little bit iffy about this game. I'm curious about it. I hope it's good because it is an Obsidian RPG. I hope it ends up being somewhat better than the other. What was it? Not Outer Worlds. I was about to say Outer Wilds. Yeah. 2 very different games, although they're both set in space. Yeah, I am just sort of looking for my Elder Scrolls fix at the moment. And with the stuff that they showed here, I was a little bit more excited by like what they seem to be going for with the story. Graphics look somewhat better. I'm a little bit more charmed by the art style. I'm not so like down on the lack of fidelity compared to a lot of more modern games of that ilk. If it comes out later this year, which apparently they're still aiming for late 2024, if it comes out later this year and I see like 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s across the board, I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, I'm not so excited at the moment that I'm putting it at like my number 1 or 2, but still very curious. Yeah, where are you at with Avowed at the moment?
I'm liking the like how it's being received right now as far as like diehard kind of like fans of RPGs. They're seeing some positive stuff in it. Obviously I can't play it because it's entirely in first person and it's very motion sickness inducing. But yeah, overall it doesn't look terrible. It looks decent. So hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah. Hopefully there's enough charm to it that people can enjoy it without just thinking about Elder Scrolls the entire time, but has enough of its own identity. That would be really, really nice. Yeah, I don't think I know they say late 2024. I don't think there's a specific release date. I'll double check that in a second. But anyway, number 6. This was probably the biggest, like, out of nowhere surprise for me. Atomfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Rebellion. I love their Sniper Elite games to pieces. And with what they showed of this game, it looks very much in line with what I love so much about the Sniper Elite games, while also adding some more familiar elements from more modern open world titles. And I love the setting too, because it's the country from where a lot of my family comes from. Yeah, Britain. And
Cold War, paranoia, folk horror, classic British sci-fi. Like,
yeah,
this looks amazing.
And you're not biased at all because it's like a post-apocalyptic. Well, not post-apocalyptic, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, between this and Fallout London,
right?
British, post-apocalyptic RPG lovers are going to be very, very happy.
Well, I'm not sure it's post-apocalyptic. It's post-nuclear fallout, at least for the island of England. But I'm not sure about the rest of the world. But I mean, it might as well be a post-apocalypse for anybody that's there. But yeah, what they seem to be setting up looks intriguing. I really want to check it out.
They could not have timed this better if they knew if they had a time traveler and he was like, hey, Fallout's going to do bonkers. It's going to be so good. People are going to be looking for their Fallout fix, and if you get this out before Bethesda gets out more Fallout content, you're golden.
Yeah, dude, you're so right. I didn't even think about that because, yeah, Rebellion, there are people that love the Sniper Elite games, but they're not a huge franchise. They're somewhat of a niche developer. But yeah, what a time to drop something like this, especially, and I can't believe I forgot about this, considering the fact that there wasn't a new Fallout title announced. We were suspecting a Fallout 3 remaster, but they didn't even address that.
There's some rumors going around that there's a lot of. I'll get to that in a bit.
I'm sure it's real. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll save that for your when you want to do your stuff. Okay, number 5 is Gears of War E-Day. Now, I've never been a Gears of War fan. It's not because like I have anything against it. I just never got into the games. I think the most that I ever played of a Gears of War game was when the first one came out. That was when Blockbuster was still around. Mm-hmm. I rented it. I played it for the first 3 hours of it, and I thought it was enjoyable. But then I don't know. I think I just went back and played more Halo 2 because I've always been a Halo guy my entire life. But I'm really, really happy for the people that are Gears of War fans because they seem to be really excited about the setting, and people are sort of expecting this, to bring up Halo, to be sort of like the Halo Reach for Gears, because Halo Reach was sort of at the beginning of the game timeline, and this is going to be taking place at the beginning of the Gears timeline. And I'm excited because I have a buddy of mine who lives in the UK, funnily enough, who's a huge fan of Gears and has been trying to get me into it. And I wanted to get into it, but I just haven't been inclined to go and seek out the original game or have had the time to. But if this takes place at the beginning of the timeline, then I can start with the newest game, and then if I like it enough, I could be like, okay, I can go play Gears 1 through 5 if I'm truly motivated. So, yeah, that's really cool. And apparently we're going to find out the origin of the chainsaw gun, the iconic chainsaw gun from that series. So that's cool. Yeah, did you ever play Gears of War?
When it first came out, I played it with a whole bunch of buddies. Like we did the multi-screen thing, and
it's fun.
Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff. I didn't stay with it as like a diehard fan because I got involved into other games like Skyrim and Fallout and stuff like that. Yep. That just kind of like soaked up my time. I did enjoy playing it though. I just didn't have the right kind of like people to play the additional games with.
Yeah.
And I do like their little tactics version that they came out with a little while ago.
Yeah.
It was sort of like a side little thing, and that was very cute, very fun.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I was actually talking to that buddy from the UK today about that, and he's like, it's great, for people that are fans of tactics games, but Gears fans wasn't really what they were looking for. Like
Right.
I will play it. I recently finished Final Fantasy Tactics, and that's one of the greatest games ever made, yo. I'll play any version of that. But yeah. Anyway, very happy to see that that's coming back. Although it does remind me
And
of
I mean, we didn't see gameplay; we just saw their trailer,
CGI
but it
trailer. Yeah.
looks it
I like what they're
like I
going
mean,
for.
the heart and the feel. It might be like exactly where they need to go.
Yeah, I would agree. It does make me a little bit sad though that they're pushing this and they're gonna be pushing more Fallout soon. But just my beloved Halo, how far it has fallen. Okay, I don't want to dread too much on that. Moving on to number 4 is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I mean, it was mostly just the cutscene trailer, but I liked it so much because it's quintessential Indiana Jones. It had all like the little Indiana Jones isms, for lack of a better word, throughout the trailer. Like you don't realize it because I'm sure it's been a long time since either you or I or anybody else listening to this is watching an Indiana Jones movie, at least the majority of us. But there's just like little things in those movies that are just so iconic and so fun, and just seeing them replicated, you just realize how much you appreciated them back in the movie. So like you'll see Indiana Jones push a guy off of a cliff, and then he'll look at the enemy standing next to them, and they'll just laugh at each other, and then Indiana Jones will throw him over as well. That was all over the original movies, and it was so entertaining.
Mhm.
What else?
That and a very aggressive female companion.
Yes, very much, and yeah, and kicking ass too.
Some
Yeah.
some people were making fun of it and kind of like going, "Oh no, more of the the super, and I'm
Have
like,
you
"No, no,
seen
no, no.
Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah, did you not see the Indiana Jones movies? This does fit within the story and the confines in the universe, and it's fine. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're gonna play as her," and I was like, "No, you play as Indy."
No, it's Indy.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think they overplayed, probably, like they probably overshowed some of those scenes with her being mouthy and like, "Oh, I'm the greatest," kind of thing. But it's like, again, it's like it's that is part and parcel with the how the original movies were.
Yeah.
So
Let's just hope she's more like Karen Allen and less like the chick from Temple of Doom, because she was annoying as hell.
yeah,
I mean, she
yeah.
did kick ass towards the end of the movie, but most of the movie she was very, very annoying.
But that's the question: is like, do you want somebody to be annoying, or do you want somebody to be like, have some camaraderie there on an
Yeah,
equal playing field?
yeah. Marion, that's what her character's name is. I always refer
Mhm,
to her as
mhm.
Karen Allen. Yeah, but yeah, more Karen Allen, less the blonde chick from Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also just Troy Baker, man. He is doing one hell of a Harrison Ford impression, and I'm just and
I thought
and
that was a digital, like, AI replication of his voice.
nah, man, he's Troy Baker. He's actually really damn good at impressions. Like you
All
should
right. Well,
listen to his Christopher
I
Walken
thought
impression.
100%. I was like, they paid Harrison Ford a lot of money to like clone his voice to use like in perpetuity going forward for Indiana Jones and other stuff like that.
No,
So
yeah,
okay.
no, it's him. It's him. Believe it or not. All right, yeah, I'm still no official release date, but I'm gonna check it out, man. Some of my fondest memories growing up are watching Indiana Jones with my dad, and just watching the footage they show for this game brought me right back. And hey, maybe this will be like the best thing that we've gotten since the Last Crusade. It'll been like 35 years, but maybe it'll be worth the wait. All right, number 3, Sybe. I don't think you or I were expecting Perfect Dark to show up here.
I was.
You were.
I knew it was coming. I knew the announcement was coming out this year.
But no, it's not coming out this year. Wait.
No, the announcement
Right,
came out
right.
was going to be at this one. I knew that a while ago.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. But did you
Yeah,
expect
yeah.
gameplay?
I did, and the thing that I would say, and what I heard, is that they were going to show off only the beginning bits of the game, which they largely
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And I think it's always sort of a mistake when they do that, because the beginning of the game is slower and is more like it's you could tell that it was designed as a tutorial mission
Right.
for like, and when you show that off as the gameplay, people will then assume that that is all of the gameplay that there is, and that is the pace and setting and speed of which um, that's going to be in. And I think that was a really that wasn't a good move for them to do. They really needed to probably show some of the mid game to end game stuff, just like show the combat at that level so people could be assured that it's not super slow all the time. But yeah, that's the biggest complaint that I've seen from people, and I've heard it from a lot of people. A lot of people were like, this is a slow paced shooter, and I'm like, I don't think that's accurate. What we're seeing is we're literally seeing the tutorial mission.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so when I was watching the trailer, I didn't get the impression, like, I'm not sure who it was. It was probably Phil or somebody saying that Perfect Dark was going to be the first quadruple A game under Xbox. From the trailer that we saw, that there was much that could be considered quadruple A about it. I mean, it looked good, but if this is all it's going to be for the entire game, then maybe not. I mean, maybe they will show us mid-game and end-game stuff later where they try to go beyond just the contained areas. But if that's all it is, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's not exactly quadruple A. But I think the best case scenario, and I've seen some people say this in the comment sections for the trailer, is that what they seem to be going for is a combination of Mirror's Edge type traversal combined with Deus Ex. If that's what we're getting with this game, hell yes. I love the original Deus Ex. I don't think it's going to be like on par with the original Deus Ex's storytelling, but with just the different ways that you can approach a mission and customizing your weapons and your approach, going stealth, go all guns a-blazing, kind of like a more tactical, more actiony, immersive simulator, a little bit more engaging than something like Prey from a combat perspective and a traversal perspective. Hell yeah, I would love Perfect Dark to be like that. Although, again, like I said, if it's going to be quadruple A, I want there to be vehicles. I want there to be more to the world and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I was impressed. The graphics look great. I love the level design. It looks very futuristic. It looks like we're back, man. I wasn't expecting Perfect Dark to come swinging out of the gates, especially with all the negative PR we've been hearing about it from behind the scenes. But yeah, I was impressed. But yeah, you said a moment ago that people have been saying that it looks slow, and fair enough. But what are your personal opinions on the footage we saw?
That we're only seeing a very, very, very small sliver of the game.
Sure.
If my contexts are to be believed, if my insiders are accurate and not, going crazy or lying or whatever, what we're seeing here is just the tip of the iceberg, and expect more of what a lot of people were hoping to expect from a Half-Life 3.
Ooh, okay,
So
okay.
this is what I've been told numerous occasions, is that Perfect Dark is going to lead into an experience that most people would kind of have as their kind of dream, Half-Life 3 scenario, just with more stuff going on. And this is why I say that from my perspective, I think showing off what appears to be the tutorial mission probably wasn't the best way of going about it. But at the same time, it's probably because there's a lot riding on the later parts of the game. So again, I make no promises. Take this with a grain of salt. But I'm told there's just so much more. But to show any of that would spoil a lot of stuff and wouldn't do the story justice. And for somebody who gets really irritated with the way that a lot of trailers are cut, where it's like, all right, you've seen all of the best jokes, all of the best action scenes, and you can piece together the plot and the ending of the movie or the game because of what they showed off. It's like, right, that's not good. So I don't know. I think this one's going to be a don't judge it till you see it and you see other people playing it, because there's so much more going on here.
Okay. Yeah, I get that impression as well. I hope what it is that they're just looking to do a gradual reveal, and I hope it's
Yeah.
not so much like they're holding stuff close to the vest because they've been having problems behind the scenes and they don't really know what to do with the rest of it, and they just needed something condensed and looks good to show to everybody. But I don't know, like I can't really justify this, but there's just something about the presentation of the trailer that felt very confident. Like it showed a lot of confidence, but I don't know, maybe that's just window dressing. But I'll say this: I'm especially curious to see where they go with this. I'm going to be keeping my eye very closely on this project, probably more than most projects that are up and coming. All right, moving on to number 2. Syb, that Doom trailer, man. Holy crap! The most recent Doom and Doom Eternal, amazing games. Like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 experiences. I was expecting, my expectations were pretty high because of how amazing those games were. I know it's sort of unfair because it's like those original games are so awesome. How are they going to top it? Easy. Give Doom Guy a shield that he can throw at a bunch of dudes and a gun that shoots skull shrapnel at a bunch of hordes. Oh my God, this is so cool. Oh, and add on top of that, you get like these giant mech battles and you get a flying mount. Hell yeah. Oh my God. I haven't felt like this appeal. I can't remember the last time that I saw something that appealed to my inner child the way that this trailer did. Just my inner boy just wanting to tear crap up in a video game and just have the time of my life. This is what that trailer looked like, man. Oh, I cannot wait. Yeah, I'm assuming, I would hope you had the same impression. It looks so freaking cool. Yeah. Yeah, what'd you think?
I think this is the perfect evolution of the Doom games. I think they're going to absolutely nail this one. And this is good because this is what this franchise, which is a long-standing franchise, needs. And this is the kind of like attention that should have been paid towards, this and other, IPs, great IPs that we've had and that have just been sitting there for ages, not getting the proper love and attention and building it out because they are awesome and you can do it. And this is my personal challenge to Tim Sweeney over at Epic. Give us Jill of the Jungle to rival Doom.
Yeah. Dude, I don't, like, no offense, like I support anybody's love for anything, but I don't think Jill of the Jungle is on the same level as Doom, like even at its lowest point. But
I don't know. For me, it was a completely like revolutionary game when I played it when I was like a young kid, not even like like just barely 12 or 11 or 10. I think it was 10 when I played it.
Yeah, I felt the same way when I played A Bug's Life for the PS1.
Yeah,
wasn't it? But
But like other games like Jazz Jackrabbit, and of course all of the games that have been buried by EA. It's like there's been so much, and I just wish that the Doom game would be the blueprint for other companies to like dig up these older IPs and resurrect them in a way that actually just makes you go, wow, amazing, great. And because that's what this is. Doom is amazing. It's wow. It's great. It's so cool. I'm so happy that it's getting this attention because this is exactly what game development should be for these big ancient titles.
And on that note, before I move on to my number 1, I asked this question to a friend of mine after seeing the Doom trailer, who's a really big fan of not just the more recent Dooms, but the entire Doom franchise. Is there a game company who at the moment has their finger on the pulse of what gamers want more than id with Doom? The only one that I could think of was maybe, two, From Software and Larian.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from those contenders, there's something about this particular franchise where with Doom Eternal, that raised the bar, which seemed impossible because Doom 2016 was just just came out of nowhere and blew everybody's minds. And then Doom Eternal came along, and then with Doom: The Dark Ages, like I even though my expectations were high, I was expecting them to be let down a little bit, especially with Mick Gordon going, like, not being a part of the project. But then, it's just, I felt 10 again, man, watching this trailer. And I'm going to I watched it like 10 times. I couldn't get over how awesome it was. All right. Now, Syb, I got an even easier question for you than I did when we recorded the Summer Game Fest. What is my number one?
Clearly your number one is going to be South of Midnight.
Of course! I don't even remember that one, but of course! Oh, come on. No, really, please, don't disappoint me. What the hell is
it? Is it going to be Age of Mythology retold? Because that's amazing. Obviously, it's Solid Snake.
Okay, for God's sake, don't. Well, no, it's not Solid Snake. Don't get the Twitter after you. No, it's not. It's Naked Snake. Oh. Solid Snake is Naked Snake's son. Naked Snake becomes Big Boss.
Sorry, it's Solid Delta Snake Eater. My bad.
Right. Okay, we're gonna have to have a talk later. No, of course, yes, it is Metal Gear Solid Delta. It's pure bias. But look. Everybody hates Konami, right? I hate Konami. I hate them with every fiber of my being. But even I gotta say, that trailer looked pretty dope, man. Snake in Unreal Engine 5. That character model is the trailer for Doom, the perfection that was. It's the same. Snake's character model is the same level of perfection. I love it. I love what they've done with the boss. Like, that's his female mentor that you see at the end of the trailer. I love that they're allowing you to play the game the original way while also adding in modern controls. That's awesome. They even announced that one thing that you're going to be able to do is, like, totally tear up your clothes and get covered in dirt during the game, and like those injuries and blemishes will carry with you all the way to the end of the game. That's awesome. That's the sort of stuff that gamers go nuts for. And I'm going to go, like, I was already nuts that they're doing something with Metal Gear again, but just adding in little elements like that, that's great. Yeah, and
so if what you're saying is if I crawl through barbed wire, like, 800 times, Snake will be just wearing, like, tiny little ribbons of clothing, and I can just finish the game like that.
Well, I don't know if, like, all of his clothes will be falling off, but essentially, like, if you have a whole bunch of rips on your pants, yeah, those will carry with you towards the end of the game.
Okay. I'm gonna be curious to see how far that can be pushed.
Dude, that is going to be so funny. Like, I just imagine, like, people are going to be doing all sorts of messed up stuff. Like, you can make, if you go into the survival viewer for Metal Gear Solid 3, which is, like, you look at Snake and see where like, you can heal wounds and give him food. But you can also make his character model spin. And then if you make him spin enough, he'll say, "I'm going to puke." And then you come out of the menu and you'll just barf on the ground. I just want people to do that and then have him roll in it. And
oh my God.
People are going to be doing stuff like that. And then, what's going to be even better is if when you're fighting the Fear, he uses a crossbow and you just have... You just have Snake walking around like a freaking voodoo doll. Oh, that would be so great. He'll just look like that. I'm trying not to swear, but if that's what they're gonna do, you're gonna have him looking like the freaking Wicker Man when he's making out with Eva at the end of the game. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I never thought I would feel this excited about anything that Konami was handling, especially with how Silent Hill has been as of late. I mean, kudos. Yeah. Like, they turned the narrative around just a little bit with the most recent Silent Hill stuff. But
let's wait till it actually comes out and we get to playtest it.
Yeah, no, trust me, I'm still dubious. It's Konami. I'm going to be that way until they give me something great. But I'm just going by the trailer, and that trailer was pretty awesome.
It did look good. It did look good, yeah.
So those are my top 10. Syb, I know there's a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't mention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna just go. I'm just gonna rattle off a couple
sure.
quick things. So, Fallen Feathers looks great. Souls like looks great.
Yep.
Hope it's great. Hope it's good. Hope it's what people want it to be. Stalker 2, same thing. I really hope this game is good, and I hope that it's done well, and that it continues the positive like reinforcement.
Yeah.
It's
God
good to
bless
see
the
another mecha
developers.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Really excited for, we already talked about it, but Atomfall looks genuinely really interesting. I'll be tempted to try and see if I can give it a go.
Yeah.
Flight Simulator 2024 looks absolutely stunning. It's more gamified than ever,
Oh,
and I
really?
think that's like super moving in the right direction. Congrats to them.
Why did I miss that? I didn't. Huh. For some reason, that completely.
Because you probably thought it was an ad for like an airline service or something like that.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Sorry to
Like
interrupt.
literally, I have no idea. I don't know. It just looks really solid, and I know there's a bunch of people who play it on our server and or on our Discord, and they really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. Sea of Thieves, gotta love the continued progression of making this game great.
Yeah.
I think it's good. There's nothing to complain about. Diablo 4, probably something to complain about there. Um, I hope that they turn that around because this is the last chance for it to get turned around. Like it has been getting better, but let's hope that they can really nail this one down.
Yeah.
Age of Mythology Retold, super excited about that. Loving where this is coming from. I think that this is going to be pretty awesome. War Within for World of Warcraft looks really good.
Oh, good.
Again,
Yeah.
hoping that it's the direction they're finally going to get back to telling great stories with great content. And then we got Fable, which I won't go too much into. I'm not convinced that this is going to be the worst game or the best game ever.
What the
And
hell are they
I'm
doing with it?
well, so I'm more convinced than ever that so my perspective from it from the beginning was that the game wasn't like it's not that it's woke or that it's pushing ugly people. It's like that it's doing that because that's part of the inner joke.
Yeah.
And again, this is just my opinion. I've had a lot of people. Ash disagrees with me on this. He thinks that they're just pushing just uglification of characters. But I always remembered the Fable games as being your hero wasn't a hero. Your hero was an obnoxious, gross, disgusting, loudmouth who just couldn't shut up and wasn't nice to be around. And I remember watching trailers that made this like emphasis of like you're not playing the cool, awesome hero. You're not playing Zorro. You're playing Mr. Bean with magic. And for me, like all the characters look like a really like bad Mr. Bean, like really gross Mr.
Yeah.
Bean. So I don't know. Again, if they don't give you a character creator to actually just create characters properly from the beginning, from the get go, I think this is going to be a huge mistake. I really want them to be able to do this like properly and have this good. If you have these ugly characters and they're just part of the story, and the story is that they're just a bunch of dicks, right? Like then that totally makes sense. But I don't know because I haven't played it. I don't know it. This is just my opinion on it, and I think that you're intentionally playing like really like characters that like you listen to the guy talk in the intro, and he's clearly full of himself. He's clearly an giant you know POS of a person, right? And you're like, right, this isn't the hero that people like. This is a hero that people like. This is a villain that people turn into a hero in the hopes that he won't destroy their village, right? Because he's just like
Yeah.
that. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm really curious what people think of it, and do they care about it at this point? Because there has been just a lot of negative press about it. So like, where is it?
Yeah. Just
Sorry.
show us. It's okay. I don't like. I would assume that to some degree it would be similar to the original games, but like we don't, aside from like hints in this trailer and the trailer that came out last year, we don't really have an idea of how the game plays. It's just there to remind us that it's still coming.
Yeah.
You know, that's my thing.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, I really don't know. I can't say for sure one way or the other. I just hope that it's not terrible. And then they had some other games that are kind of worth mentioning that we didn't talk a bit about. There's they are interesting in and of their own,
Yeah.
but overall, I gotta say that Fallout 76 is it's not the top game. It's not even what I'd say is the best game in this. Obviously, I think Doom is really really good. I think that's probably going to hit it out of the park. I really do have a good feeling about about Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
I have sort of a hope for State of Decay 3 that it's going to be the best version of this game yet, and that it'll just be absolutely amazing. I hope so. I've really always kind of hoped that series gets off the ground, and I know I talked to the devs back in when they were making State of Decay 1, and they really did have a lot of really cool ideas that the tech just wasn't there for, and that I can see that this is where they're heading now. So I'm really hopeful that that's going to be good. I really like 76, where they're going. This is new. This is creating new lore. This is really feeding into the love that we have for the Fallout series, the Fallout franchise. It's not perfect. It's not a new game. Fallout 3 is a remake for Fallout 3 and a remake for other Fallout games, and another Fallout game is being worked on 100%, and it's just a question of when we're going to get it and how polished it's going to be.
Yeah.
So that's coming. I think that we really do need more Fallout content, and I'm excited to like really get back into it. And then there's Dragon Age Veilguard.
Yeah, go. I want to hear this.
This is basically they've turned this into a bad Overwatch. In my humble opinion, they have turned this into a bad Overwatch. We can't custom create our character anymore.
What?
That's the big sense that I'm getting, is that there will be no, you're going to be playing a human thing, maybe ish.
Right.
And that just really rubs me the wrong way. I'm not happy with where this has gone, considering that this started out as essentially a Baldur's Gate, it basically was kind of very similar to Baldur's Gate 3. I really like that. And we saw the success of Baldur's Gate 3. We saw how good it was. And then when you look back and you look at Dragon Age 1, 2, and then just the stuff that has come out from it, it just keeps moving towards this action based thing that now they don't even now you just have hero classes with like it's not even like you're learning skills from a tree. It's just no you just have these skills. Those characters just have the skills, and it's just about big explosions and it's just I don't expect this game to do well, period. Yeah. I really, really don't. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a travesty of an IP getting trashed because they wanted something that played like Overwatch or Valorant or whatever. And I'll give it an honest try, but I really don't think that we're getting what we want. I think we're getting what the EA board wanted. I think that the idea of having a slow, methodical turn, like not necessarily turn-based, but like just like a really good game that is focused in on like building your character, having an adventure, to hey, go and smash 100 orcs, go and smash 5 dragons. It's like the lore seems to have taken a backseat to fancy effects, quick character movement, and repetitive, I'll say it, stupid gameplay. Yeah. That I it feels more like Fortnite than it does like anything from the original Dragon Age game. Like it has gone so far up Fortnite's backside that it is now become a thing that I don't recognize as part of the universe of the Dragon Age origin universe. And again, the fact that the fact that Baldur's Gate had such success just goes to show that EA doesn't know how to make games, and I hate those guys. It's so
sad.
disappointing. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Again, I could be wrong. It could be amazing. It could have 5 million players and everybody loves it, and it's the next big cool thing, and it could be that way. But I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I really don't think that it has the heart that it's had in the past, and that sucks because that means that if this game doesn't do well,
that's it.
That's it for BioWare, man. Like they're not going to make another. They're not going to make Mass Effect.
They might. I do think Mass Effect will live on in some capacity, but definitely not with the way it is at BioWare. They'll probably hand it off to somebody else. But yeah, Dragon Age, what they showed, it just didn't look. Yeah, you were right. It doesn't have any heart. It doesn't really feel like it has any unique identity. Like it just felt like just something that you throw in as a part of the showcase, just not even really thinking about it. It's just something to fill in the time. I felt that like even something like Avowed, even though it's clearly like just Obsidian trying to do Elder Scrolls, it felt like it had more personality than. I mean, look, sorry, it's not to say that what they showed of Dragon Age doesn't have personality, but it's like, does the personality have sort of a hooking factor that isn't sort of just reminiscent of a lot less special games? I don't know how better way to put it, but yeah, I guess I just agree with your general premise. Yeah, hopefully it's okay.
No, I hope so. Of course, I don't wish any negative on the devs.
I'm just
stating a fact.
Yeah, it's EA, man. Yeah, was there anything else?
No, that's it. Just overall, I think Xbox is really smashed it out of the park. I see now sort of a little bit more where they're heading. I just hope that they don't forget that some of their best games are going to come from indie developers, are going to come from smaller studios, are going to come from something that they don't think will be the best thing, because the boardroom, AAA, multi-billion-dollar companies, none of these companies have ever made a new genre earth-shattering game. Yeah. It always comes from the smaller teams who just think differently. And I'm hoping that they have success with this stuff, but because I want gamers to win, I don't want gamers to lose. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Very strong showcase from Xbox. I mean, if you were to, I don't necessarily like doing this, but if you were to assign a winner to the showcases that we've gotten this season, I think Xbox is far and above the best. I wasn't impressed with the Sony State of Play too much. I was more positive towards the Summer Game Pass than most people, but even then it was still kind of lukewarm. But then this just knocked it out of the park. So kudos. Hopefully that all the great stuff that they are showing us will pan out. I mean, I guess it's a pretty safe bet that Doom will be amazing. And I have pretty decent hopes for Indiana Jones. Hopefully Perfect Dark ends up being good, and hopefully Konami doesn't find some way to mess up what should be the easiest win in the world. But yeah, we'll see. All right, and then finally, just like the Ubisoft Forward happened today. There wasn't much about it. Like, Sybe didn't see it, and honestly, Sybe didn't really miss much. They were just pushing X-Defiant and the typical Ubisoft stuff. But just two things that I felt that were notable. One, they finally reintroduced Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Yeah, remember when the remake was supposed to come out in 2021? Yeah, well, we're going to have to wait 5 years since the original release date. But apparently it's not dead, and they felt confident enough to say they'll be done then. But yeah, I am so curious as to what the hell happened. I mean, like, we know what the hell happened. Like, when they showed the trailer for the remake initially, people were like, the graphics for this game look like ass. And they did. So hopefully they're giving it the treatment that it deserves. But yeah, I'm particularly passionate about that game because it's in my top 5 favorite games of all time. It's a borderline a perfect game as far as I'm concerned, and it still holds up today. And then second, the Star Wars Outlaws, they did show some more about it. I'm warming up a little bit more to it, which is saying something because it's Ubisoft, and like a lot of people, I'm sort of not into the whole Ubisoft formula, but I'll give credit where it's due. I will say that with the stuff that they showed us, the environments in this game, they really made them stand out in the footage that they showed us. They look absolutely gorgeous, like exactly like the types of environments you would expect in a AAA Star Wars game. And like some of the more open air gameplay where the main character is speeding around on the speeder bikes or whatever the official names for them, or when she's on a ship, like unlike Starfield, man, like you can fly into a planet's atmosphere and then you'll go into a cutscene, but hey, at least you'll be able to fly through and then touch down on the planet. At least you could do that in Star Wars Outlaws. That's really cool. But
I think I also noticed, I gotta say, that I think the character model has been improved drastically. I think they heard all the negativity from it, and I think they've tweaked something because I swear it's different. But I don't know. That might be crazy.
I heard. I'm not really the person to ask when it comes to like faces and whether or not they look okay. The only time that I think I've ever really had something like that stand out to me is when I saw Angela, the character Angela from Silent Hill 2 in the most recent footage for the remake. But yeah, other than that, like people complain about it, fair enough, but I never really saw much of an issue. But I hope that your sentiment is expressed by other people. But yeah, those are two positive elements that I was happy to see from the footage. And yeah, I'm curious about it. I hope that it comes out and it's better than the standard Ubisoft fare. But yeah, just felt it was worth commenting on, giving credit where it's due. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And you didn't see it, so I guess we'll just call it a millennium there. All right.
Yeah, no, I was very busy today. It was a long day.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like I know you've been going through a lot, and hopefully you'll be have some reprieve soon, some rest. I've been having computer issues. I mean, like it hasn't been fun for either of us, but things will get better. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button if you like this particular episode. It helps out not only this video, but all the other videos on the Triple S League channel. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts on Syb or my opinions in the comment section below. If you tell us if you liked the Xbox Showcase overall. If you didn't, we'd love to hear from you. Syb, thanks as always, man. Do you have anything you want to plug before we're done?
No, things will be a little tight for the next couple of weeks as we get settled and sort stuff out. But yeah, we've got big stuff coming.
Nice. And you guys could just find me on all the regular forms of social media, just at Max Derrat. You might want to go check out my channel. I just put out a video today on a game called Final Fantasy Tactics, which I'm of the opinion has the greatest writing in the history of the Final Fantasy franchise. If you want to hear my argument for that, you can go and check that video out. All right. That does it for this episode, guys. Until we do this again next week, because I don't think there's any other showcases that are coming up, at least any that have been announced. Maybe Nintendo will do something, I don't know. But until then, I want to remind you guys, as always and as per usual, stay yellow.